Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. It's me Anil and we are in the series of online food ordering website using ASP.NET. In previous video, that is part number 3, we have seen how we can integrate admin template in our project. So now in today's video, that is part number 4, we are going to see the category page in which we'll do the CRUD operation like adding category, reading getting categories data, updating as well as deleting. Okay, so let's get started. So let's close this. Let's create a page in admin folder. Right click on admin folder, click on add, click on new item. Here we need to take web form with master page. Web form with master page. Let's give the page name as category. Add. Now select our master page for admin. OK. Now if you go to the admin master page where you have use your content placeholder, you can see here this is placed inside this div tag, and this div tag have the class p coded content. The same thing we have already like taken from the index file of this the index file of admin master template, admin template. So let's open that. I have already opened that index.html file. If you don't remember, like you have downloaded your the admin template, right? So in that you will find that index HTML file. So just open that. So here in the body tag, starts the first div tag. Just close that. After that, navigation tag is there. Okay, just close that, and after that you can see the div tag. You can see here if you go to the master page, you can see p coded content, and we'll see here p coded content. So we are using this div tag data inside that here in category design page. So let's give div tag, copy this class name, paste it here, and here we'll take some padding. Okay, we'll remove padding from top. Okay, then after that main body, page wrapper, page body, row. Okay, so we'll copy from over here, which we have done inner content. Okay, so we have done that inner content. Now we'll copy from here till row. Okay, just copy it and paste inside this div tag. Now we need to close that the div that we have taken. Okay, let's Control Z. Need to close others also, other div tag. Now enter. Okay, one div is left. Okay, let's you can say align it. Select the whole div, press Ctrl KD. The code will align. Okay. Now inside this row, class row, you can see a div. Inside the div, the row will take this one, this div tag, start from here and see here. Okay, so let's copy this whole div tag and paste this in this div. Okay, so let's remove this, the content present inside this card header div. So let's remove this. Don't want this. Instead of medium we need to take small sm. Let's first align it. Control KD. Here we need to take class. Remove this class row. Okay, now I'm pasting here some code for the form of the category. So I've just pasted this div. Okay, so inside this div tag I've taken here one h4. In that I have given the category. Then I have taken one div tag, and within that div tag I have taken many div containing form group. Okay, so there is 1 2 3 4 5 div is there inside that, and that is 2 form group and 1 form check. Okay, so in this first form group I've taken the label, the name, category name, and inside that I've taken one div, and within that I've taken the text box. Okay, you can add it. You can add the text box like if you go to toolbox, you will get text box. You can see here, just drag and drop here. The text box will be added here. Just rename the id and add the css class, the placeholder, and the required attribute. Okay, that's it. Then I have taken this one, the hidden field that you can find in toolbox here. Just drag and drop, that's it, and change the id and give the value as 0. Okay, that is for like category name, which takes the name of the category while inserting the category. Okay, so the use of this hidden field I have taken here, that is like when we are about to update the category, at that time we'll store the value of the ID of the category. Okay, that means which category we want to update, that value, that category ID will going to store in this hidden field. Okay, for that reason we are using over here. Okay, then in second form group, label name, category image, and inside this div tag I have taken the file upload control. You can see the file upload control there inside the toolbox here. Just drag and drop. After that, just change the ID and add the class, bootstrap class. Then you need to add on change event. Okay, call this the function, which is right now I have not taken. Okay, we'll do that in a moment. Then I've taken another form check with padding left 4. Okay, and inside that I've taken one checkbox. Can add checkbox from here. Okay, then I've taken here the text ampersand NBSP semicolon, which take a little space, and then I have taken is active the text name. Okay, and given the CSS class, that means bootstrap class. Okay, after that I have taken the another div which is within where I've taken the class padding bottom 5. I've given the padding from the bottom of 5. Within that I have taken the button. Can find the button from here. Just drag and drop or double click on it, it will going to add. Just change the ID and give the text as add. Okay, then add some bootstrap class. Okay, then I have taken here one space between this button and this button. In this button I have like this button is used for adding or updating the category record, and this button is used for like clearing the form data. Means in category text box, like we will fill the category name, right? And when we click on the clear, it will clear the data that is present in text box for the category. Okay, so that is for that use will take we have taken here the button clear. Okay, so here the text here clear, and causes validation I have taken here false. Okay, and the last div I have taken here one image control for displaying image, like while uploading the category we are inserting the image also. So which image like we are selecting, it will going to display a preview like just before adding or uploading that category. Okay, for selecting image we have taken file upload control, and which image will select based on that here on change event will call this function, and this function will get will get the image URL and will bind to this image control, where the image will display inside this image control. Okay, so let's save it. Then now what we want, like when we click on the button, so it should add that category, right? So where is button? Here. So let's generate the on click event, on click, create new event, save it. Now go to the code behind page. Now add some classes. The first one is that is SQL connection. Let's add the namespace. Just press control dot, it will show the namespace which we have to use. Just click on the first one, it will add that namespace. Can see here this one, and can see this one is get highlighted. That means we are using this namespace as well as the system, and the rest of the namespace is not being used. That's why the color has been a little dark as compared to this one. Okay, so let's add the namespace for data table also. Okay, so we have taken here four class, that is one, the first one SQL connection, second SQL command, SQL adapter, SQL data adapter, then data table. Okay, this both these three, the first one used for the SQL connection, and this second and the third one used for like the query part, like in which query, in that we pass our query, SQL query. Okay, and the third one data table, which is used to store temporary data inside this object. Okay, inside the DT object. Now for getting the connection, we'll first create a class with the name connection. So just right click on your project name foodie. Okay, click on right click on it, and then click on add class. Let's give connection as a page name, class name. Okay, add. So inside this class we'll take one function, that is get connection string. Okay, so let's first import the namespace for this configuration manager using system.configuration. Yeah, okay, so this function is a static function which will return string. The data type it will return is of string, and what will it will return here, it will first fetch the connection string from the configuration manager, where it will get the connection string with the name CS. Okay, from there it will fetch the connection string. Okay, this is the connection strings, and this is a connection string. In connection strings we will have multiple connection string, but we want connection string with the name CS. Okay, so let's go to the web.config file first. We need to add our connection string. Okay, right now we don't have any connection string here, so let's first add our connection string. So here inside this configuration node, we'll add our connection string here. So inside this connection string node, we have taken one add and the name of CS, that is our connection string name CS, and the connection string name contains the data source. This is a server name of our database. You can see if we click on connect here, can see the server name. This is my server name, which is a SQL Express. So here the first, that is my desktop name, then this SQL Express part. Okay, so with the instead of the desktop name I have taken here dot. Okay, just dot and backslash, then my server name, that is SQL Express. Okay, if in your case if it is not SQL Express, just need to provide that dot, that's it. Okay, and here in initial catalog we need to give our database name. That is our database name, that is foodie db. Okay, so that's why we have taken here foodie db. After that, integrated security is equal to true, because we are using here authentication of Windows authentication here. Okay, if we are using SQL Server authentication, at that time we need to pass our username and password over here instead of this integrated security. And after that, multiple active result set is equal to true. That is used for, like, suppose if you are using multiple sets of the result, at that time like we want to enable this as a true. That's why we have taken over here. Okay, then the provider name, that is system data dot SQL client. Okay, this connection string present inside this namespace. That's why we need to use our provider name. Okay, now we need to give the username and password for the admin login, okay, inside this web.config file. So we'll give over here within the app settings. So within the app setting node, we have taken here add the key value, okay, as an attribute. Within the key, I have given the username and its value is admin. Within the key password, I have given the value 123. This is the my admin username and this is the my admin password. Okay. So here the last one I have here taken validation settings unobstructive validation mode, that is like I've given the value none. That is used for like when we are taking web forms, okay, inside that we are designing the forms. We used to take validations, right, like which control should be means it should take value or not. So for that purpose we are taking the validations, okay, and for the validations it should work properly the client side. That's why we need to use these validation settings. Okay, I'm just saving the file and going back to connection string connection class. Okay, so this how we'll get the connection string from our config file and it will going to return that connection string, okay, when we call this function get connection string. Okay, to save this. Now let's go back to our category. Now when we click on the button, so what code it should come here. So I am pasting some code on the button click event. Okay, so here first add the namespace. Here I have used here the connection, that is the class that we have taken just now, connection. Okay, and within that like I have called the method that is get connection string, but right now can't access this connection class, but still I'm unable to get that. Okay, let's type it manually, maybe due to that. Here connection dot get connection string. Okay, so now I've got that connection. I don't know, like I just pasted the code, it didn't get that the class. Now after like typing it manually it get it. Okay, so the other thing, like I have to take here another class I need to take. Okay, I need to take that class. Inside that I need to add this function. Okay, but before that let's add the namespace for this path, that is system.io, that is input output. Okay, so the namespace has added here system.io. Okay, so let's add the class for this utils. Okay, so we'll create a new class inside this connection class. Okay, after this, so here let's add class public class utils. I've taken the class name here as utils. Now within this class I have to take that function that is valid extension. Okay, so here in this function it will take the string value of that is the file name. Okay, and here it will check the extension. It's a string of array, okay, which contains three type of image extension, that is jpg, png and jpeg. Okay, so in this for loop it will check the file name contains which extension, the file name contains which file extension, whether it is jpg, png or jpeg. So based on that it will return true. If it finds any of this, so it will come out this for loop and return that whether it's valid or not. If it is valid, that means it's true. Here inside this for loop, inside this if condition, when it check, when it is find any of any of these three, it will uh, give the value of is valid is equals to true. Then it will break it, means it will going to come out and return that value, that which is true. If it didn't match, if it didn't match with this, that means is valid is already set to false. That means it will return the value as false. Okay, so here that's why we have taken the return type as bool. Okay, that will return the boolean value. And static, that means we can we don't need to call create an object for this class. We can directly uh, access this function with the class name. Okay, that is util dot is valid extension, we can use with that. We don't need to create the object of this class. The same way we have done for this also, we have taken the static. So that's why here in connection where we have taken just after the class name, after dot I can access this get connection string method. Okay, the same way here, now can see the error has gone when I have taken that util class, just save it. Okay, now here it will check the here the file name which I am passing over here. So whether it will check like if it has a valid extension, then it will going to execute this part. Okay, so right now like we don't have this label control, so let's first add that in design page. After here, let's take one div tag. Within this let's take a label control and go to toolbox, double click on it. Let's change the label ID LBL message. Remove this text and let's take the visible property for this label, make it false, save it. Now that label error should go on. Yeah, it's gone. Now let's see what I've taken here inside this button click event. Here I have taken some variables, string, action name, that is which is empty. I've initialized the value as empty. Okay, for the string name, same for the image path, the same for file extension. So I have taken three string, that is action name, image path, and file extension. Okay, then third the next one, that is I have taken bool. Okay, and the variable name is valid to execute. I have set the value as false. Okay, then after that I have taken the integer with the variable name as category ID, which stores the value of the hidden field. So the hidden field which we have taken in our design, can see here this one, the ID is HDN ID, that is hidden ID. So with that ID I am fetching that value. Can see in hidden field I have set the value as 0 by default. That means if there is no value given to that hidden field, it will get the default value, that is 0. Okay, so based on that, it will fetch that and convert into integer, then store it in the integer variable. Okay, then I have taken the SQL connection. Okay, and got the connection string from this method connection gets connection string. Okay, after that the SQL, in the SQL command I have given the this store procedure name, create category. Right now we don't have this store procedure, we'll create in a moment. Okay, okay, first we'll see this code, then we'll go for the store procedure. So let's first I will explain here what parameters that store procedure will take. Okay, so this category CRUD store procedure will take 4 parameters. Here you can see the first one is action, the second one is category id, third one name, the fourth one is active. These 4 parameter it will take this store procedure. Okay, so here the value we are passing for all the parameters. The first one action, like in action it will take like which one we need to pass. We are passing the action name as insert or update, so which one will take. Okay, so now for that, like I've taken here ternary operator. You know ternary operator, like if else, right? So for that, in short, we use this ternary operator here. So in category id can see that value coming from the hidden value. Suppose the if we didn't pass any value to that hidden, that means it will fetch that default value, that is 0. Okay, so here it will check, like if it is 0, that means insert, that means we are now inserting a new category. Okay, suppose if you want to update, when we are updating we are passing some value to that hidden control, so it will store that category id, and when we'll uh, check here, it get that category id, that means which is not equal to 0, that means it will not going to use this one, it will going to execute this else one. Can see this one, the if one, and this is a else one. Okay, so it will take the value as update for this action parameter. Okay, so based on that, like it changes accordingly, like what the value of the hidden field contains. The second one, that is category id. So what the id we are passing here will pass in here for the category id. Okay, the third one, that is name. So what name for the category we are taking, so based on that we'll pass that text value of the text box, but before that we'll trim it, like suppose in there is a space in between, or not in between, suppose text between just before that category name and after the category name. Suppose I am giving the pizza, before pizza I am giving one space, so it will get trim, or after the pizza suppose I have taken one space, it will get trim. Okay, so that's the use of this trim function. Okay, the fourth parameter it will take is active. So I have taken the checkbox, the id, that is cb, cb checkbox is active. So dot checked, so it will get the, it will return the value as true or false. Means if it is checked it will return true, if it is not checked, that checkbox, that it will return the false, and that value will going to pass in this parameter. Okay, so after passing these values inside this store procedure category CRUD. Okay, now here we first need to check, like we are uploading the image also for the category, right? So that's why we need to first check the file extension, which file or image we are want to store. Okay, want to upload. Okay, so the file upload control, which from which will upload that image. Okay, image file. So the id of that I've taken, it has the property hash file, so it will first check whether the whether the admin has selected any file for that category or not. If it is contained, that means it will going to execute this if block. Okay, or else it will going to execute the else block if it is not selected any image. Okay, now after selecting any file or image, whatever the admin has selected, now we need to check what file is selected, means whether it's a image file or pdf file or whatever, which file is there. That's why we need to check which file it is selected by the admin. So we are passing that the file name coming from this control. Okay, and in this function it will find that the file extension, which file extension is there, whether it is jpg, png or jpg, or other than that. If it's jpg, png or jpg, it will return the true. If it is other than that, it will return false. So based on that, it will going to execute this if block. If it is true, it will going to execute the if block, or else it will going to execute the else block. In else block, it will first make the this label LBL message label control as a true. That means it will visible to the admin. So now after that, the message it's contained in the label, that is please select JPG or PNG image for the file upload. Okay, and I have taken here the bootstrap class for that. Like we need to change the label color as a danger, that means in red color. Okay, and I have I've taken here one variable is value to execute. Okay, this will here set as false. That means if it is call this else block, we don't need to upload that data in database. Okay, that's why I've used this variable and set the value as false. And here in else in if block, what we are doing here, so I have taken a class GUID. Okay, in that the function new GUID. Okay, it will get the unique ID. Okay, so it's a combination of like strings or number. Okay, both it will combine into it and generate a unique value for us. Okay, like now inside this file extension variable here which I have taken. Okay, so here it will first get the extension. It will get the file extension. So in that this one, it's present in inside this path class as a method or static method. It's a static method. Let's see. Press F12. Can see here this method get extension which is of static. Okay, that's why we are able to use this method with the class name, and we don't need to create an object for this class. Okay, just we need to use that the namespace because it's present in another uh, assemblies. Okay, that's why we need to use the namespace for this one. Okay, now what this function does here, it will take the name of the file which is present inside this control, that is the file name. So we pass that and we'll get the extension of the file, which extension it is the file has. Okay, so here we'll get the file extension. Now here in the image path variable, we are adding concatenating the value, that is images category. Okay, so we are passing the folder directory here, that is images. Within after that, within that images we are having the category. Right now we don't have any folder for that, so let's add it. So go to Solution Explorer. In images, right now we don't have any images folder. Also, let's create that first, then we're going to create that category folder within that. So just right click on the 4D, that is our project name, click on add new folder, images, enter. So our images folder has been created. Just right click on that images folder, click on add new folder, give the folder name as category, enter. Okay, now here we have taken the category folder and images folder, and within that category folder. So here I'm taking the path of image, like where we are going to dump that file, that image file, and we'll use that their location and going to store that image location in the database. Okay, so we are concreting the path from, so from where like storing the that image in the images folder within the category, and the image name, that is the id, is get generated in here in the object. Okay, obj, and the extension, file extension, that is coming from this file extension. So it will get combined here, images category, the name the file we're going to use and with its extension. Okay, so it will combine all this and going to store inside this image path. After that, we want to save that image in our this project folder inside this category, right? For that, we are using this posted file save as. It will get the map path. That means it will get the actual path where we have you store this project. It will get the location of this project. Okay, and then we are going to pass our path where we want to actually store within inside our project. So we have taken here images and within the category, so it will going to store there with the name as the value we are going to get in the obj object. Okay, and with the extension as the extension we have get from the file name. Okay, after that we want to insert that image path also, right? So here in category CRUD, this is the store procedure, right? So here it's already taking 4 parameters. Now the fifth one is the image URL, which will take the image path. If we are uploading any image for the category, then only it will going to use this parameter, or else it will not. Okay, suppose now if we add the image for the category, at that time this parameter will get uh, passed in this store procedure. Okay, so here it will take the value image path, which stores the path of the image in this variable. Okay, after that we need to set this value to true. Okay, then here in the last one, if here, so here in every like condition, here in if we have taken this variable and set the value to true. Okay, if the image extension is valid, okay, that at that time we have set that value to true. If it is not valid, then we have set that value as false. Okay, and suppose if no images is selected, okay, at that time we have set the values to true. That means if there is no images selected, still we need to update that insert that data of the category in our database. Okay, so here it will first check whether its value is true, then it will allow to what we can say, add this record in our database, or else it will not. Okay, so here first it will here, so it's a what come the command type of this SQL, that is store procedure. That's why we need to pass here command type dot store procedure, because we are using the store procedure, not our it's a normal SQL query. We are using a store procedure. You can see here with the just with the name of store procedure, we can call that procedure from our database. That's why we need to pass that command type when it need to open the connection. So sometimes maybe the connection problem, or sometimes there is an error in our store procedure. So that's why we need to run that code inside the try block. So we have taken here try catch finally block. Okay, so within the try block I have first opened the connection, database connection, and then after that execute non-query I have called, which will execute over the store procedure. Okay, now after the execution, okay, so here within this action name variable, here it will store some record like inserted or updated. So which one it will going to store based on that the condition I have used here, that is ternary operator, ternary condition I have taken here, like if the id of category id is that is 0, that means it is inserted. Okay, and suppose if the value contains other than 0, that means the value has updated. So this will going to store here inside this action name variable. So first we need to, before displaying the message inside the label control, we need to first visible it, right? So we need to set it true visible. Then the text part, like what message we need to display, we need to give inside this label text. So category whatever here within the action name we're going to add here category inserted or updated successfully. Okay, the class that is bootstrap class success, that means the background color will going to change as a green color. Okay, we'll create this get categories function within a moment where we need to display that in our category page. First we'll insert it. Okay, uh, now we need to create this function clear. Okay, right click on the function and here quick action refactoring. So generate method clear, click on it, it will going to add that method. Okay, so here I have taken the text box and make that as empty, and the checkbox which is checked or maybe it's not, I make sure it is unchecked. Okay, that means the checked is false, and the value of the hidden, suppose if I'm updating some category, at that time I have passed some I have passed some category value, category ID to the hidden field, so that must be changed back to 0. Okay, and then the button text, at first it was add. Okay, but will change accordingly. Suppose if it is like we are suppose if we are updating that, it will change to update, or else it will get set to add. Okay, so we'll going to change dynamically because we are using the same page form for the adding as well as for updating. Okay, so let's save it. So we have done this clear function as well. Suppose if something went wrong and it uh, got some error. Okay, so it will going to catch that exception or error. Okay, then it will going to first display that exception, but before that we need to enable that label. Okay, that means visible that label. Okay, then we need to set display that error message, whatever message is that. So here the error text and the actual message will going to display within that label control. Okay, then we need to display that label control as a red color, so we have given here bootstrap class alert danger. Okay, suppose if all went properly, then it will going to call finally, but if it is catch any exception, still it will going to call this block finally. That means the connection is open, we need to close it. Okay, suppose after opening the connection, while executing the stored procedure, it may cause some problem. At that time it will going to come out this the try block and going to call this final block, but the connection is get open, right? So that's why we need to close it also. That's why at the finally block will going to close the our connection with the database. Okay, now let's try to add a new category and let's see. Okay, before that, like I have told, I have to take a function for that. Here can see where it's gone for the image. Here image, yeah, this one image preview function we need to take. When we select the image, it will going to display inside this image control. For that we have used this function, but we need to create a function first. So here inside this content, which is for head. Okay, there is two content in the master page that we have taken web form with master page. The first one placeholder that is for head, and the second place content placeholder that is for this one content placeholder one, that is for body. Okay, so inside this head content placeholder will takes script code. The first script code here that is used for the label. This what will do this code when we'll display that message inside this label control. Okay, but we want to that label message should disappear after some time. When the message is displayed after some time, it get disappeared. For that we have taken the script. I've taken here the second as 5. Okay, after 5 seconds it will the message the message displaying inside this label message control. Okay, and after 5 seconds that message will go to disappear. Okay, for that I have taken the script, first one. The second one I have taken that function which we have used on the on change of the file upload. Okay, image preview. So here it takes for an parameter input. For that pass here this. That means the whatever the value it contains will going to pass through this keyword. Okay, so here it will get the input from there. Okay, and the input here will check the files, whether it has any files or it has the zeroth one means the file, the first one we are selecting. Okay, so uh, it will check, and with that the use of this class file reader, it will get stored inside this variable. Now here it will check on load, it will call a function. Okay, on the load. So here based on the id image category, that is the id of the image control that we have taken here. So because we need to display that the image that we have selected here inside this file upload control, we want to display that image inside this image control. So that's why we have taken the id of that here. And so this line will going to what going to display that image. Okay, within the attribute src, that the image attribute src, you know what it does, it will get going to display the image. Okay, with the help of this attribute src. So it gets the that and set the height and width of that image control. Okay, and then it will going to read that the data url from that input. Okay, and going to display in that. Okay, in that image control. Okay, now everything I think uh, done. Now let's run and see. So here you can see our form that we have designed. Category name first, then the image for the category, then is active or not. Okay, so if we click on this clear, okay, we didn't generate the button click event for this clear button. Okay, we'll create after this, but first let's check whether the image has been adding or not. Okay, so let's first add a breakpoint. Let's add a breakpoint on button click event. Here, add a breakpoint. Now let's add here suppose pizza. Selecting some image for the pizza here, this one. Okay, let's select. You can see when we select the image from the file level control, it get binded and displayed inside this image control. Okay, that means this working properly, and we have marked this active. Okay, let's click on add. It will open our Visual Studio. Now here why it is open, because I have added the breakpoint on this button click event. As the button is clicked, that means it will want to stop the cursor over here where we have added the breakpoint. Now we can proceed with this F10, or just press over here, it will move one step forward. So here it will fetch the hidden value, that is hidden id value is 0. Okay, now here it will fetch the SQL connection. Okay, then okay, we didn't created this category right now, this store procedure for this category CRUD right now. So that's why like it will give us error. Okay, so let's check like what type of error it will give and whether we have handled that or not. Okay, so here you can see the category id is 0. So here what value it going to pass it will going to pass the insert one, not the update one. Okay, and here category ID is 0 and the text, that is pizza, and here it's checked true. The checkbox is checked, right? That's why the checked property is telling us true. Okay, that means your true value will going to pass it for this parameter is active. Now yet we'll check the whether the this file upload control has any file or not. This has file, right? We have selected the image, right? That's why it's telling us true. Now here when we go to this if condition, press F11, it will go to that function. So here function has the file name, can see f6.png, and the extension is png. Now here it will first check in the for loop whether the file name, that is f6, okay, it contains the extension which present inside this file extension of array, that is 3 array record, that is jpg, png, jpeg. Okay, so based on that it will going to check. So the first one, that is jpg, so didn't match. Okay, can see here the I, that is the, it will going to call the first one from this array I, that is 0 index, array start from 0 index, and the I value is 0 at starting. Okay, so the 0 position, that is jpg, it check whether the file name contains jpg, which is not, so it comes out of this if block. Now it will go again, it will going to increment this I, that is now 1, previous it was 0. Now again it will check whether the file name contains now second one, that is now can see the I value is 1, the I, that is what one position, that is png, and now it will check whether the file name contains png or not. Can see now it is going inside this if block, that means this png is the extension which present in the file name. That's why it's, now can see here is valid is set to true. Now it will going to break the loop and come out the loop, for loop. Okay, now it will return that value that present inside this is valid, and inside this it contains true. So that means this function will return a true value for this image file. That means this if block will going to execute because it returns the true. Okay, press F10, so it will come inside this if block. Can see here it will going to create an unique ID. Can see it's a combination of like alphabet letters and numbers and special characters also. Can see here hyphen is used. Okay, now here in the within this file name we want to fetch the file extension. So here it will you will see, can see .png, that is the file extension we have got. Now now we need to create the image path that we need to store in our database. So that's why we're going to store inside this variable image path. So here how it works, like let's see images category, within that the obj value, that is the file name we are going to use .jpg, that is png, sorry, that is a file extension. So it will concatenate and form this path of this image which will going to store in our database. Now we need to save the this one, the file. Right now let's just press F10. After this it will going to get the file saved in our folder. If you want we can check, just go to Solution Explorer. I know this video will go into little long, but still need to explain all the parts like what I have done, so it will be long. Okay, so now we want to check whether the file is dumped in this category folder or not. So here we'll see show all files, click on it. Can see yeah, there is one file, the same name, can see the same image, the same name, so that means that file is saved. Okay, now can see here is valid to execute is set to true. it was previously it was false, now it's set to true. Now it will come out this if log and going to call this one if log. Press F10, came over here. Now it will check whether this variable is true. Yeah, it's true. That means it will going to execute this if block. So here first it will uh, take the command type, that is a store procedure. Now it will open the connection, whether the connection is open or not. Let's see. Okay, so while opening the connection, it got SQL exception, connection timeout. Okay, it's taken the long time, like how much time like you are requires to open. It takes more than that, so that's why this exception has generated connection timeout. Okay, so here we'll see that exception message, connection timeout expired. Okay, that means this catch exception handling is handled over here. Now that will going to display inside our label control, and after 5 seconds it will get wipe out from that screen. Okay, and see here gone that message, but I have just moved that. Okay, okay, now we need to first create that store procedure. Okay, and one more thing I think was left, which one I don't remember right now. Okay, we'll see that if I remember. For now, like first we need to create that what we can say store procedure. So open our SQL Server Management Studio, which I am using for the database. Okay, so for creating this one store procedure, just open this programmability in store procedure. Right now we don't have any store procedure, so it will be empty, or have some system store procedure, can see, but we need to create a new one. So right click on the store procedure, click on stored procedure. So let's remove this comment part. Same for here. We'll add here parameters. Uh, let's remove this. Now here we'll take the procedure store procedure name. What name we are using here? Category CRUD. Just copy it and give that name over here. Now we need to pass the parameter name. So I have taken that all that parameters. The first one is action, second one category ID, third name, fourth is active, fifth image URL. So we have used 5 parameters, right? If we didn't uploading any email, first 4 parameter will going to call. If we are uploading the image as well, then all the parameter will going to call when we call this store procedure. Okay, so I have taken the same data type like which I have used for that inside our in my table for the category, like in action I have passing like which action I need to perform. So based on that it will going to call that the query for that. Okay, suppose we have already seen that we have taken two action, that is insert and update. Okay, for the insert it will going to execute the insert actions query. Okay, and if it is update it will going to call the update one. Then pass the category ID, okay, which is of type integer. If it didn't pass it will going to pass that null. Okay, and for the name I have taken the varchar 100, and is active I have taken here bit will be a true or false. Okay, by default given the value as false. Okay, that means it didn't pass, or it will get to take as false. Okay, and for the image URL, we didn't pass any value for this parameter, it will take as null value. Now let's give our store procedure. Okay, now here I have taken this query over here. Okay, so let's see the first one, that is I have used here for select. So I have just given comment also for understanding, that is this action we are doing for the select, and the second one that is for insert, third one that is for update, then delete, and we'll get the category by its ID. Okay, so here in the first, for the select, first it will check if the parameter action, if it is select, means if we are passing the action name as select, so it will go to execute this query. Okay, and if it is insert, okay, which we are doing for the insert, right, so it will going to call this insert statement, SQL statement, which will going to pass the value which is coming from the parameters, that is name, image URL, is active, get date. Okay, so here it will going to insert that. Okay, and here like on which date the category is adding or inserting, so we are using a SQL server function get date. Okay, which will get the date, current date. Okay, and going to save inside this table category. Okay, so if it is the action name is insert, if it is update, at that time what it will do, first it will we have taken one variable of varchar 20. Okay, the name is update image. Okay, whether we want to update that image when we are updating the category record or not, means while we are updating the category we want to update the image as well or not. So based on that, for that we have taken this variable, this one, for like for that we need to declare that variable, so that's why we have taken this keyword declare, then the variable name, and that data type. Okay, now here it will first check select update image. So here in within update image, what value I am passing here, this one, whatever value it will come, that is yes or no, inside this variable it will going to store yes or no value. So how it comes, so I have taken here case condition, when the image URL, the parameter we have passed here, image URL. Okay, so here it will check if it is null. If it is null, then we have to take as no, that means we don't need to upload or we don't need to update the image. Okay, for the category, if it is has some value, that means we need to update it, right, the image also. That's why we need to, then we need to just pass that yes value, we're going to store here inside this variable yes. Okay, now here based on that it will going to execute that particular query. Suppose if it is no, that means we don't want to update the image with category. Okay, that at that time it will going to call this if condition, this one, this if condition, and here it will going to update the record, just accept that image. Okay, it will going to update the name is active. Okay, and for the date we don't the created date we don't need to update that one. Okay, while updating, so it will going to update name is active with the help of category ID, which category ID is passed as a parameter. Okay, suppose if it is yes, the update image value is yes, that means we need to update the category with its image also. At that time we need to pass that image URL as well in the update statement. With the help of category ID it will going to update, and for delete it will going to delete the record from the table with the help of category ID. And same for the, like if you want to fetch the particular record, okay, with the help of ID, if we want to fetch the record, all the records, we have used the select here, it will going to fetch all record, like that is for displaying the categories when category page. Okay, but like when we click on particular category, like we want to update it, okay, or we want to delete it. At that time we are going to use this one, get by id. That means we are fetching the records for particular category. Like if we click on suppose first category item, we want to update it. When we click on that, it will going to call this store procedure, and we're going to get the all the records of this particular category, and that will going to fill in the forms where we are taking the text box for category name, checkbox, and the image. Okay, it will going to fill that value in that form. Okay, for that we have taken this one. Now like we want to create this, that's why here create keyword is there, and we are creating procedure and the procedure name. Then parameter, what parameter we are passing here, then it will begin. Then after like set no count, it will not going to display any uh, select statement. Okay, that's why it's set to on. Okay, no count on. If you don't know about it, you can search it on Google for more details. Okay, and here suppose based on the condition, it will going to call all the if block. Okay, so now let's create this execute. So our store procedure has been created. Now let's check over here. Let's refresh first, so you can see our created store procedure here. If we right click on it, click on modify, it will open in a new tab. You can see here. Now this time the previous it was there keyword create. Now this time here alter, because we are suppose we are using this one for updating at that time. That's why query is already set to here the keyword alter. Okay, and whatever we make some changes and just press execute, it will going to alter. That means it will going to update it store procedure. Okay, so let's close this one. Now let's back to our Visual Studio. Now this time our store procedure has been created. Okay, and okay, now let's run and see. Pizza. So now this tab connection is open. Okay, uh, now let's press F10. We're going to execute it. That means execution is successful. Now here that means the ID category is 0. That means inserted. The action name value is inserted. You can see here, here inserted. So and now it will become here the text as category inserted successful. Category inserted successful. Okay, after that it will going to clear the fields like what we have entered in the forms. This one like pizza, I've selected the image as well. This checkbox is checked, so it will on the image as well, this one. So it will going to clear that. Okay, after calling the clear function. Now and finally it will going to close our database connection. Continue. You can see here the label message has been displayed, and after 5 seconds it will going to disappear. Okay, that means working fine. Yeah, only when this thing like we have left, like when we click on clear button, it should be cleared. Okay, okay, that will do. But we'll do in the next video, because this part is already quite long. So we'll next video will continue with this part. Okay, so we'll meet in the next video. Till then, bye, take care, thank you for watching.